Have you ever felt drained from always being there for everyone else, saying yes when you wanted to say no? Carl Jung, the brilliant psychologist, believed that when you stop being available, your entire life transforms. He discovered that setting boundaries and prioritizing yourself isn't just freedom, it's the key to living as your true self. If this resonates with you, hit like, subscribe, and drop one word in the comments to join us in uncovering this secret. Your support helps us spread Jung's life-changing wisdom. Pause for a moment. When was the last time you said yes to someone when you really wanted to say no? Maybe you sacrificed your time, energy, or dreams to meet someone else's expectations. Those moments are holding you back. In the comments, share one word describing how it feels to put yourself first. Liberated, guilty, or something else? Today we'll explore why stopping being available changes everything through Jung's profound insights. This isn't just about boundaries, it's about reclaiming your life. By the end of this video, you'll know how to live authentically and transform every relationship. Stick with us because this could be the turning point for your life. Why is setting boundaries so powerful? Let's dive into Jung's wisdom to find out. First, he taught that our persona, the mask we wear to seem agreeable, drains us of authenticity. Saying yes out of habit or fear strengthens that mask and weakens our connection to the true self beneath. Second, Jung introduced the shadow, the hidden parts of our psyche, our needs, desires, and frustrations that grow darker when left unexamined. When you stop being perpetually available, you honor these parts, integrating them into your conscious life. Imagine reclaiming your time and energy. How would that change your day-to-day experience? You might rediscover abandoned passions, experience deeper joy, and find the courage to pursue what truly matters. Third, by establishing clear boundaries, you send a message to others that your well-being matters, inspiring them to honor their own limits. Relationships then shift from obligation to genuine connection. Have you noticed how saying no can feel like a weight lifting off your shoulders? That lift is your soul recognizing its own value. Jung believed that you cannot give what you do not have. Without self-care and boundaries, you cannot fully offer your gifts to the world. So how do you begin? Start by saying no once this week, perhaps to a non-essential request or an excessive work demand. Notice the freedom that follows. Next, carve out 10 minutes daily to check in with yourself. Journal, meditate, or simply breathe. These simple steps honor Jung's path to individuation, guiding you toward a life that resonates with your deepest truth. Ready to transform your life by stopping being available? Share your first boundary in the comments, and let's support each other on this journey to authentic living. What happens when you always put others before yourself? You might feel exhausted, disconnected, or as if you're living someone else's life. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist who reshaped how we understand the human psyche, believed that when you stop being available, you open the door to living as your true self through a process called individuation. Today, we'll uncover why setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's how you reclaim yourself and transform your life. Let's meet Ethan, a 28-year-old office worker from Seattle. Ethan always said yes to his colleagues, family, and friends, even when he was completely burned out. His evenings consumed by extra tasks, and his weekends swallowed by errands. One evening, he realized he hadn't touched his guitar, a passion that once made him feel alive, in months. Ethan started to wonder, who was he living for? His story reflects a truth Jung taught. You can't live authentically if you're always putting others first. Stopping being available doesn't mean you refuse to help. It means you prioritize your own needs so you can become whole and present. Think about your own life. When do you feel drained from always saying yes? Maybe you've shelved your dreams, neglected your hobbies, or skipped essential downtime that you once treasured. Jung believed those moments when you choose yourself are the first steps toward living authentically. In the comments, share a time you felt exhausted from being too available. How did it make you feel? Many of us wear masks to keep others happy, smiling through stress, agreeing to plans that overwhelm us, or pushing our genuine needs aside. But Jung argued that shedding those masks is the key to a vibrant, meaningful life. Without clear boundaries, you can feel stuck, resentful, or like you're losing your sense of self. His wisdom offers a roadmap to break free. To understand why boundaries are so transformative, let's dive deeper into Jung's psychology. 1. The persona versus the self. Jung described the persona as a social mask we wear. When you live behind this mask, whether you're the good person, the reliable friend, or the hardworking employee, you conform to outside expectations, at work, in friendships, or family roles. But your true self lies beneath, waiting to reclaim its voice and originality. 2. The power of no. Saying no or not right now isn't rejection. It's respect for your own limits and energy. Jung believed that honoring your inner voice protects your capacity for what truly matters, your passions, rest, and meaningful relationships. 3. Reclaiming your passion. When Ethan returned to his guitar, he rekindled his joy and creativity. Jung saw creative expression as a path to individuation, reconnecting you with lost parts of yourself and reminding you of what once set your heart on fire. 4. Emotional equilibrium. Boundaries help you avoid emotional burnout, preserving your ability to engage authentically with the world. Have you ever noticed how saying no can feel like a weight lifted from your shoulders? That lift is the relief of honoring your own needs. As you begin to set healthy limits, you'll notice subtle but powerful shifts. Greater presence, clearer priorities, and renewed energy for your passions and the people you truly care about. Imagine waking up each morning with time for yourself. How would that change your outlook, your mood, in your capacity to love and create? Now it's your turn. Choose one small boundary to set this week. Decline a non-essential commitment, carve out an hour for a beloved hobby, or simply block off downtime in your calendar. In the comments, tell us which boundary you'll try and why. Your commitment may inspire others to take their first step. By practicing this, you honor Jung's insight that stopping being available is not selfish. It's self-preservation. When you prioritize your wholeness, you become more present, compassionate, and empowered in every relationship. Let's make this week the start of a new chapter, where you live not just for others, but first and foremost for yourself. Jung believed that when you're always available for others, you lose touch with your true self. He called the journey to reclaim yourself with individuation, a process of integrating your conscious and unconscious mind to become whole. But when you constantly prioritize others, you wear a mask, called a persona, to seem likable, reliable, or successful. This mask hides your shadow, the parts of you that include personal needs, anger, or suppressed dreams. Being perpetually available pulls you away from your core, leaving you feeling empty or lost. Society often praises self-sacrifice, but Jung warned that this can block individuation. Without boundaries, you put others' needs above your own, leading to burnout, resentment, or a sense of worthlessness. Jung said, "You cannot give what you do not have." If you don't nurture yourself, you can't offer your best to the world. Think about it. How often do you agree to things that drain you just to avoid disappointing someone? Maybe you take on extra work, skip rest, or ignore your deepest passions. These choices disconnect you from your true self, fracturing your sense of purpose. If you don't set boundaries, you risk waking up years from now, realizing you've missed your dreams, your joys, or even your own identity. Recall a time you felt disconnected because you put others first. What happened? Did you feel resentment building? Or maybe a numb acceptance of your own depletion? On the flip side, setting boundaries reclaims your energy, creativity, and purpose. It's not about shirking responsibilities. It's about aligning them with your inner truth. Imagine a life where you confidently protect your time and energy, pursuing what makes you feel alive. You still honor commitments, but you also honor yourself, weaving self-care into every decision. Jung's individuation isn't just personal growth, it's a way to live authentically. By setting boundaries, you honor your own needs and show others how to respect you. In the comments, share a time you felt drained from not setting boundaries. What did you learn? Your story could inspire someone else to draw their line in the sand and begin their own journey toward wholeness. Now that we see why boundaries matter, let's explore how stopping being available transforms your life through Jung's lens. 1. Persona versus self. Recognize when you're wearing your mask. Each yes you offer out of habit or people-pleasing weakens your connection to your authentic self. Have you ever felt like you were performing rather than living? 2. Shadow integration. Notice the needs, emotions, and dreams you've suppressed. Embracing these parts renews your vitality and creativity, whether that's anger you've hidden, desires you've pushed aside, or talents you've ignored. What part of yourself have you long kept buried? 3. Energetic sovereignty. Claim ownership of your time and attention. Saying no isn't rejection, it's preservation of the self. Imagine the relief of declining a request that sapped your spirit. How would that shift your mood? 4. Authentic contribution. When you're whole, your gifts flow freely. Jung believed that a person who honors their own soul naturally enriches the world around them. What unique gift could you offer if you weren't drained by constant availability? As you begin to set healthy limits, you'll observe subtle but powerful shifts. You'll feel more present, your priorities will sharpen, and your passion will reignite. Perhaps you'll rediscover a creative pursuit that once filled you with wonder, or finally make space for meaningful connection with loved ones. Ready to stop being available in ways that cost you your essence? Let's dive into how these shifts can ignite your journey toward a life that feels truly, vibrantly yours. By embracing Jung's path of individuation, you won't just survive, you'll thrive as the fullest expression of your truest self. Take a moment now. Pick one area where you've struggled to say no, one aspect of your shadow you've refused to acknowledge, or one dream you've postponed. Write it down. Commit to one small boundary this week and watch how your world begins to realign around the authenticity you reclaim. Your transformation starts here, and it begins with a simple, courageous act of choosing yourself. So, what does stopping being available mean according to Jung? When you set boundaries and prioritize yourself, you begin individuation, the journey to become your true, whole self, by integrating both your conscious mind and your unconscious depths. First, you must recognize the mask you're wearing, the good person or reliable friend role you play to please others. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to say no, even when your heart is screaming for rest? That hesitation is your persona, the social mask you present to the world, suffocating the real you beneath layers of obligation. Shedding this mask means learning to say no when necessary, even if it feels uncomfortable, because each yes you reclaim strengthens your connection to who you truly are. Imagine the relief in declining one extra meeting or turning down an invitation that drains you. That tiny act of self-respect ripples out, reinforcing your inner boundaries. Second, you need to listen to your unconscious, those whispers of wisdom that emerge as vivid dreams, gut intuition, or persistent feelings of burnout, because they reveal what you're neglecting in your soul. When was the last time a dream or a deep gut feeling nudged you toward a neglected passion? Perhaps you've awoken remembering a scene of painting on a sunlit canvas or a melody hummed under your breath. Jung believed that setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away, It's about bringing your true self back into view by honoring those inner signals rather than silencing them. Let's meet Olivia, a 32-year-old graphic designer from Chicago. Olivia always took on extra projects to impress her boss, believing her worth hinged on perpetual productivity. She skipped lunch breaks, answered emails late into the night, and lulled herself to sleep with exhaustion rather than a contentment. But she felt empty. One restless night, she dreamt of running endlessly without ever reaching a finish line. That dream was a mirror, Olivia's unconscious warning her she'd been neglecting her passion for photography. The next day, she started saying no to non-essential tasks and carved out dedicated time in her schedule to shoot photos at golden hour. How would it feel to prioritize your passion over perpetual busyness? For Olivia, this boundary unlocked a renewed sense of purpose and joy. Every image she captured reminded her she was alive, not just busy. Olivia's story shows how boundaries free you to live authentically. Stopping being available protects your energy, nurtures your passions, and helps you discover your unique purpose. It also sends a powerful message to others. You value yourself enough to prioritize your well-being. Think of a time you wanted to say no but didn't. What held you back and what did it cost you? Did you lose sleep, sacrifice joy, or feel a creeping resentment? Jot down that memory or share it in the comments. These two steps, shedding your mask and listening to your unconscious, are the core of stopping being available. They form the foundation upon which you build a life aligned with your true nature. Boundaries allow you to stop living for others' approval and start living for your own truth. Jung's insight is clear. You can't become whole if you're always giving pieces of yourself away. When you set boundaries, you create the space to grow, dream, and thrive. Imagine waking up without the weight of endless obligations. What could you create with that freedom? Perhaps you'd write that novel, launch that side business, reignite a long-forgotten friendship, or simply indulge in morning meditations that soothe your soul. This process transforms you from a people pleaser into a fully realized individual whose life reflects inner truth. You stop performing roles you were never meant to play and start living roles you choose freely. In the comments, share a time you needed to set a boundary but didn't. How did it feel? Acknowledging that moment is the first step toward change. Understanding the power of boundaries is one thing, but how does it change your life in practice? Let's explore the profound impact of stopping being available and reclaiming your authentic self, so you can finally live a life that's vibrant, purposeful, and entirely your own. Stopping being available transforms every part of your life. First, it builds unshakable self-awareness. When you set boundaries, you begin to understand your true worth, completely independent of others' approval. You identify what truly matters, carving out time for yourself, nurturing your passions, or preserving your inner peace. Have you ever realized you're living on someone else's terms without even noticing? That subtle drift away from your core values can leave you sleepwalking through your days, untethered from what makes you uniquely you. Second, it ignites your sense of purpose. By protecting your energy, you free yourself to pursue what makes you feel most alive. Whether that's a forgotten hobby, a dream you shelved years ago, or a creative project that's been gathering dust. When was the last time you allowed yourself to fully immerse in something that set your heart on fire? Boundaries empower you to live your life, not the life someone else scripted for you. Third, boundaries transform your relationships. When you value yourself, you naturally attract people who respect the real you, not merely what you do for them. Imagine friendships or partnerships where you're loved for who you are, not what you provide. Jung believed that living authentically inspires others to follow suit, creating a ripple effect of honesty, respect, and genuine connection throughout your community. Those around you sense your self-respect and adjust their behavior accordingly, fostering deeper bonds built on mutual regard. Without boundaries, however, you risk burnout, resentment, and a deepening sense of worthlessness. You may miss chances to pursue your passions or to live with genuine purpose. Over time, you could lose sight of who you are, trapped in an endless loop of pleasing others, running on autopilot while your inner voice grows quieter. Picture a life where you confidently say no to protect your time and energy. How would that change your everyday choices? Perhaps you'd wake up with more enthusiasm, make room for play, or finally launch that side project you've been dreaming about. Stopping being available isn't selfish. It's about bringing your best self to the world. You can still honor responsibilities, career, family, friendships, but you'll approach them with clarity, ensuring they align with your inner truth rather than deplete it. This process unlocks your unique potential, allowing you to contribute in a way only you can. Your most powerful gifts emerge when you're operating from a place of fullness, not exhaustion. By embracing boundaries, you create a life brimming with energy, purpose, and authenticity. The ripple effect is profound. As you honor your own needs, you inspire others to do the same. Your example encourages everyone around you to set their own healthy limits, fostering deeper, more honest connections in every area of life. In the comments, share how your life would change if you always set boundaries. What would you gain, and what would you finally make time for? Your vision could spark someone else's breakthrough. These insights are inspiring, but how do you make them real? Let's dive into practical steps to stop being available and start living on your own terms. 1. Identify your overcommitment triggers. Notice patterns where you say yes by default: work requests, social obligations, or family favors. Keep a log for 1 week. Practice saying no. Start small, decline a non-essential invitation or delegate an extra task. Observe the relief and the respect you gain. 3. Schedule you time. Block out specific slots for rest, hobbies, or reflection. Treat them as immovable appointments with yourself. 4. Communicate your boundaries clearly. Use I statements. I need to focus on my project this evening, or I can't take on more than this right now. 5. Reflect and adjust. Each Sunday, review how well you honored your limits, celebrate successes, and refine your approach for the week ahead. Ready to shift from people pleaser to purpose-driven? Start with one of these steps today and watch how your life begins to realign with your deepest values. Your journey to self-honoring living starts now. No one else can take this first step for you. Applying Jung's wisdom to stop being available is simpler than you think, with 4 practical steps. First, identify when you're too available. Notice the moments when you say yes but want to say no. The tension in your gut is a sign you're wearing your persona mask, sacrificing your own needs for the sake of approval. Can you recall a recent situation where you reluctantly agreed to something? Try writing down one instance. What made you agree? What fear or expectation kept you from declining? Second, listen to your body and mind. Feelings of burnout, irritation, or resentment are signals from your unconscious, showing that you need to set clear boundaries before your energy is completely depleted. When was the last time you felt that heavy exhaustion after helping someone? Maybe you've noticed tight shoulders, a racing mind, or a pit in your stomach. These are your psyche's way of calling for rest and protection. Third, practice saying no gently but firmly. Start small. Decline a non-essential invitation or a request that drains you. You might say, "I'm sorry, I can't take that on right now," or "I need to focus on my own project this week." How would it feel to honor your needs without guilt? Saying no is how you reclaim your time and build the muscle of self-respect. Fourth, prioritize time for yourself. Dedicate at least 30 minutes a week to something you truly love: painting, writing, hiking, or simply relaxing with no agenda. What activity have you neglected that once brought you joy? Block it into your calendar as immovable me time. Protect it as fiercely as you would a work meeting or a family obligation. Let's meet Noah, a 30-year-old engineer from Denver. Noah always worked late to support his team, believing his value lay in his constant availability. He answered emails at midnight, skipped lunch breaks, and made himself the go-to problem solver, even when it meant his own project stalled. Over time, he felt increasingly disconnected from himself and his surroundings. One afternoon, as he sat alone in a crowded office, Noah realized he hadn't gone hiking, his old passion, for years. That single thought ignited a decision. Noah began declining unnecessary tasks and formally reserved Saturday mornings for trail hikes. What would it be like to reclaim a lost passion in your own schedule? The result? He recharged his energy, rediscovered wonder in nature, and felt more alive than he had in a long time. Noah's story shows how setting boundaries helps you live authentically. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Just start with one small change, like saying no once this week or spending 10 minutes on a hobby you love. Which step feels most doable for you right now and why? These 4 practical actions protect your energy, nurture your passions, and build a life that feels true to you. In the comments, share one step you'll try this week or a time when you desperately needed a boundary. Your insight could spark someone else's breakthrough in reclaiming their own time and sense of self. You've got the tools. Now let's wrap up with a challenge to start transforming your life. Pick one of these 4 steps today, commit to it, and observe how your world shifts when you stop being infinitely available. Will you dare to say no, honor your burnout signals, carve out joy, and feel the freedom of living on your own terms? Your journey to authentic living begins with that single decision. Your journey to stop being available starts now. Here's your challenge. This week, notice one moment when you want to say no, but feel pressured to say yes. Try one simple step, like declining a small request or carving out time for a passion, and see how it shifts your energy. Small steps lead to a life that's truly yours, so start today. Jung's wisdom isn't just about boundaries, it's about reclaiming your life, living with purpose and authenticity. When have you felt drained from being too available? What will you do to change that? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. If this video inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for weekly psychology content. And don't miss our deep dive on Jung's individuation, link below for more ways to grow. Jung once said, "You cannot give what you do not have." Stopping being available isn't just for you. It brings your best self to the world and inspires others to live authentically. Let's build a community of authentic living. Share your goals in the comments. Are you ready to reclaim your life? This is your moment to set boundaries and live true to yourself. Tell us in the comments if you're ready to set boundaries and live authentically. Let's keep this conversation going and support each other to live with purpose and truth.